Credential member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. I earned that title because I love working for the fans of the Carolina Panthers. And this is now Thursday. We're just about 3 days out from a good matchup against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle this Sunday at 4 o'clock East. I forget the exact 4 something Eastern time. And telling you right now, set your reminders, subscribe, hit the bell notification because I will be in Seattle. And I'll have a great pregame show lined up for you. Kicks off about 2 hours before the game. I didn't say the time because I hadn't done all the math yet in my head. But nevertheless, again, we're just only got really one more day that this Carolina Panthers team is going to be doing prep work for the Seattle Seahawks and Geno, and they're going to be flying out Saturday, not Friday. Some teams like to fly out a little early to help guys get acclimated, but Wilk said he doesn't believe he needs to do that. Just wants to keep everything the same as much as possible. So these guys will fly out Saturday. Their curfew time will still be 9 o'clock, which converts 12 o'clock here Eastern time. And, they're going to play ball on Sunday. So let's get you up to date with that injury report. And that injury report, as the season progresses, becomes more and more important to see who is and who is not on that list. So let's go ahead and take a look at that injury report that we currently have for the Carolina Panthers. We got outside linebacker Corey Littleton, who's dealing with an ankle. He did not practice today. Running back Deontay Foreman, he's been dealing with a foot injury. He was limited in practicing. He's had that injury since the Denver game. Had the bye week, still is not 100%, but he says he feels 95% sure that he's going to play this Sunday. Got to hope that he does. The Seattle Seahawks defense is a little weak versus the run, so that could be helpful for us as we continue to get Sam Darnold back and used to being behind center back there, and hopefully getting us a victory this Sunday against the Seahawks. Offensive tackle Akeem Ekwonu, he's dealing with a knee. He was limited in practice. Free safety Miles Hartfield dealing with an ankle. He was limited in practice. Defensive tackle Matthew Ioannidis dealing with a calf. He's limited in practice. Safety Xavier Woods with a knee, limited in practice. We also have had linebacker Chandler Wooten dealing with an illness. He did not practice. And I'm glad to see that these illnesses are getting under control. I think that bye week really helped. I hope that continues to be the case, that we have fewer guys, really no guys on the illness list. And then last but not least, we have offensive tackle Taylor Moton, who was coach likes to get him rest. He's earned the ability to have that rest, and he has it. So congrats to you, Taylor Moton. So today is not a day that we get to speak to Coach Steve Wilks. We'll get to speak to him again tomorrow. So today was offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And me, I like to make it simple for you guys. Take the highlights out of some things that were talked about today with Ben McAdoo. And mostly it was about the quarterbacks. He's the one that's responsible for, regardless if it's Baker back there, Sam back there, PJ back there, he's responsible for making game plans to suit each one of those guys' skill levels the best. And, here's a clip of him talking about Sam and how he prepares for a game with Sam as his quarterback.
Yeah, it's only my second game here with Sam, right? So I'm still learning about Sam. I had a lot of time with him in the off season, but had a couple plays in the preseason. We played, one game together here recently, so I'm still learning about Sam, and he's still learning about me. Each game looks a little bit different depending on who the quarterback is and their skill set, and it really depends on how the game unfolds. That's kind of when you see, when you get the third down maybe, or you get into the red zone or whatever the case may be situationally. That's where you really see some subtleties and some differences on how you play. But that's a great question, but I'm still learning. I'm learning about Sam, and he's still learning about me, and we just got to keep our, lines of communication open. That's important for us.
So, honestly, as much as I will admit I hadn't been liking Sam personally to start, but I'm going to go back to the professional hat. And let me give a shout-out to Lonzo, who says, yo, Chris. What's up, Lonzo? Appreciate you signing. And, it seemed like it's been so long that I've been in front of the camera talking to you all because of the bye week. But I'm certainly happy to be back in front. Hope that everybody continues to join me back on YouTube as we continue to cover this Carolina Panthers team, doing basically what is the last quarter of the season. But I never really thought so much about how hard of a job Ben McAdoo may have with all of these different guys back there at quarterback. But then as I say it, I go to think, well, the game plan is still relatively the same, right? It's, Steve Wilks is saying the front line. That's where it all starts, up front. And being able to run the ball and get that running game established and just run it down the throats no matter what running back is back there, mix in some throws, and there you have it. So they're playing the Seattle Seahawks, famous for their 12th man, famous for the noise. So the Panthers have been practicing with a bunch of noise in the practice to get familiar with that. Say they haven't really, outside of that, planned a lot of non-verbal communication type deals, but a big part of it is still just watching the ball and everybody just going to move and sing. And it's an environment that Ben McAdoo said that he's excited to go to. It's great when you have a place that has that much fandemonium going on. And he said he even hopes that it's a little bit of rain that's involved in this game when they go over to Seattle. So we will see. Chris Johnson, I see you tuning in. It's going pretty well. Thank you for joining. And then there's just one more clip a little bit further about, and honestly, the job has now gotten easier because he's no longer going to have to prepare for Baker Mayfield, right? And is Baker Mayfield going to start tonight out in L.A.? Leave a comment. What do you think? I just, whether or not he does well or does bad, sometimes players leave and like, I hope he does bad because you feel like they just weren't a good fit here personality-wise in Charlotte. But I'm just would be curious to see how Baker Mayfield does if he is, in fact, able to start tonight in Thursday Night Football. I think it's what the Rams and the Raiders that are playing. Nevertheless, let's stick back to Carolina football. Ben McAdoo, just on the challenges that he has had and having plans for all three quarterbacks, which is now down to two.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I'm in the room every day too. And we have, we try to have open lines of communication as much as possible. But yeah, I'm in the room with those guys every day. I trust them. And, when you have guys in and out, sometimes it does make it challenging, but, we're more than capable of overcoming it.
All right, so that's Ben McAdoo on overcoming those challenges with so many different guys, but it's something he's been doing all year, so I'm sure it's becoming easier and easier. And again, they're a run-first kind of team. That's the strong identity with Steve Wilks, so I think that makes it a little bit easier. What about Cade Mays, right? Cade Mays has been in the backfield several times now trying to help out Deontay Foreman. This team does extremely well when Deontay gets over 100 yards. They're 3-1 currently when he gets over 100 yards. So what about bringing offensive lineman Cade Mays into the mix to help block for Deontay? He says the guy, ever since he's come to the league, he's been prepared. He's been ready. And when you have a guy like Cade Mays that's really as athletic as he is, you do want to try to find opportunities, just get him out there on the field some kind of way, any kind of way that you can. And, did it in practice. He looked pretty well, and it's something that they've done and has worked. So that's how Cade has earned an opportunity, and we'll see how many more opportunities that he may have in being a blocker for Deontay Foreman. On the other side, I was going to say Ben McAdoo. Al Holcomb talked about the quarterback, Geno Smith, and how good he's been doing. Geno Smith has, been having a crazy good year. If you're a person just really sticks into the Carolinas, I think it's worth knowing that the quarterback that they're facing this weekend, Geno Smith, is a quarterback that kind of was in his backup role, was just not too, highly touted in this league, just a backup quarterback. But he's put together a string, I think, of maybe 12 games, but certainly this season of individually, statistically, one of the best in NFL history from a quarterback perspective. I'm not talking about overall wins because, they're not at the top of their division, but it's only been, I think, 2 or 3 other quarterbacks that have had the stats that he's had consistently with the passer rating and consistently with the completion percentage that he has. So we will have a challenge this weekend playing against the Seattle Seahawks. And again, I invite you to make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because I will be in Seattle this Sunday, and I will have a great interactive. You know, my shows are always live because I like to interact, and you all can ask me questions and anything that you want prior to the game, and I'll be there for you, and I'm going to do it also post-game, all right? So hope you enjoyed the show. Again, hit that like button if you hadn't already done so. It's Chris, let me get a few more shout-outs before I get off here. I almost didn't see these. Donna B., what's going on? Appreciate you. Chance Hines, what's going on? Appreciate you as well. And, okay, chances, I think we could pull the upset if we keep our turnovers and penalties down. Absolutely, absolutely a possibility for an upset versus this Seattle Seahawks team. I do believe in that for sure. So that'll conclude today's show. Appreciate you as always. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte 5.